What up, fam? It's your spooky homie, Manly Brandon. And today, being the Halloween special day, I figured I would do it up. So we got the Freddy vs. Jason shirt, the Friday the 13th pants, and I'm not very flexible, but the Nightmare on Elm Street shoes. We are head to toe in this. I love monster movies. I love monsters, horror movie icons, all that stuff. I love it all. So today I found a list, not my list, but I'm gonna commentate on it because I'm pretty sure it's got mostly everything, and if not, I'll make some additions at the end. I'm not gonna agree with the rankings on this completely, so this isn't a definitive rankings list. This is just 66 of the greatest horror movie monsters of all time in no particular order because I think this guy ranked them in what he thought was the best to the worst. It's too subjective. It's too subjective. Like, there's no way. Uh, these monsters are all great in their own right, and let's get right into it. And we'll start off with at number 66. Like I said, no particular order. I'm just going to count them down so I can make sure I get them all. Krampus, from the movie Krampus. Now, if you haven't seen this movie, this is actually a pretty good movie. It's not really a Halloween movie, but it's still a monster, and monsters are Halloweeny. So, Die Hard's a Christmas movie. Krampus is a Halloween movie. Whatever. I'll die on that hill. But yeah, Krampus is cool. He misbehaving kids get snatched up in his bag, and he does what he does with them. So it's terrifying. It's a cautionary tale, and the movie's really good. If you haven't seen it, check it out. At number 65, ooh, the Iron Man from Tetsuo the Iron Man. Now this is like a body horror ass movie. It's Japanese. He's like slowly turning into a Iron Man. He's like a metal fetishist, and yeah, so it's a very creepy design. Looks very painful. It's terrifying. Like, if you've never seen Tetsuo the Iron Man, I definitely would check it out. It's Japanese. I think there's definitely sub and dub titles out here. I watched the dub one when I was younger. The dub is very bad but fun. It's a good time. Definitely check out Tetsuo the Iron Man. Number 64, James P. Sullivan, aka Sully from Monsters Inc. Not a scary monster, but definitely iconic. Sully was the big blue boy, along with Mike, and I imagine Mike will maybe be on this list too, because you can't have Sully without Mike. But that's just a classic movie. It's Monsters Inc. That's good for the whole family. Pixar used to be able to do no wrong, and that was in the midst. So yeah, definitely a solid choice. All right, number 63. Now, see, this was like, if this was a ranking in order, these guys would be way higher for me. It's one of my most favorite horror movie monsters, but werewolves of all kind. He particularly had the werewolf from The Howling, and The Howling is an amazing piece of cinema. This werewolf is a freaky, creepy sex pervert werewolf, and he's disturbing, and makes lewd phone calls, and it's just awesome. And the transformation in The Howling is super good. If you haven't seen The Howling, definitely check it out. It's an '80s classic. 1981 had like that and American Werewolf in London and like a couple others, I think. And like that was 81 was the year of the werewolf. But to me, it's terrifying because, like, like being torn asunder by a half man, half wolf creature. That sounds terrifying. I don't want to be eaten by anything, let alone like something like that. And they just look scary and they sound scary. It's good time. Good time for all. 62. Ooh, Fluffy the Crate Beast from Creepshow. This one used to scare me senseless. I was so terrified that that thing was like living under my stairs. And that was one of my favorite segments from Creepshow. Creepshow is a classic George Romero, Stephen King collaboration. The style of it is amazing. And Fluffy, it's a sweet name. He's from Antarctica, and he will eat Adrienne Barbeau all day, son. So yeah, Fluffy the Crate Beast, very cool, very cool. Ooh, number 61, the S11 from Sharktopus. Now, sci-fi be having some crazy weird monsters, and they're combinations of things. But Sharktopus, definitely visually striking. I can't really recommend the movie unless it's like a so bad it's good context. It's a fun time. Like if you're bored, watch Sharktopus. I think you'll like it. And I think they actually have made like a big budget version of this in China. So keep an eye out for that. At number 60, uh, Tamatoa from Moana. He's a giant crab voiced by. Okay. Yeah. The giant crab monster from Moana. He's pretty scary. I mean, like he's missing part of his leg, and he's just like intimidating. I don't know if I'd put him above a werewolf. Like this guy, I don't know what he was thinking, but you know, like I said, Pixar, they do good stuff. All right, number 59, the Death Angels from A Quiet Place. Now these guys are pretty new to the scene. They're one of my favorite new monsters. They'll just kill you for being loud, and I've been there. I've there's people that have been loud, and I've been like, kind of wish I could take them out. So yeah, I get it. Death Angels. I feel you. The third Quiet Place movie just came out. It's pretty good. They're all good, and they're worth your time. Quiet Place definitely good. 58. Ooh, the Cathoga from Relic. The Relic. Now, I believe this is a Guillermo del Toro joint. But anyway, like The Relic is a classic '90s campy movie. It's a so bad it's good, but it's actually a little bit better than that. It's good. It's just a good movie. You should watch The Relic. It's cool. It's based on a like a short or not a short story, but like a novel, and it's cool. It's a very cool design. This guy describes it as 30% dog, 30% beetle, 40% gecko, and 100% gory gold. Stan Winston knocked it out of the park. He's a lizard god, Cathoga, which I believe is a H.P. Lovecraft monster, also unrelated. Ooh, number 57, The Stuff from The Stuff. This is like delicious dessert that eats you from the inside, and that's a pretty terrifying premise. Like if we found a hole filled with something that is like delicious, would you eat it? Because apparently these guys would, and it led to their downfall. But The Stuff is another good underrated '80s horror movie. A lot of people haven't seen it, but if you get the chance, I believe it's streaming everywhere. Watch it. It's fun and it's dumb and it's pretty gory. There's a couple kills in there that are just rough kills. Number 56, the Splinter fungus from Splinter. I don't think I've seen Splinter, so I'll take his word for it. But any kind of fungus, that's terrifying because it can just spore you, get in your lungs, kill you. Yeah, I mean, Last of Us has shown us that fungus is not to be trifled with. Ooh, and just from this picture, it looks horrifying. I might need to check out Splinter. That looks pretty cool. Okay, number 55, the Sumatran rat monkey from Brain Dead. This is a Peter Jackson joint, and that is a very gory, very insane movie. This is the monkey that has the zombie virus. It is a ugly puppet, and it is awesome, and it starts all the chaos. If you haven't seen Brain Dead, or I believe it's also called Brain Dead, but Dead Alive in the states. Check it out. If you go watch Lord of the Rings and then watch Dead Alive back to back, and you'll just be like, wow, how did the same guy make both of these movies? That's pretty insane. All right, number 54, maybe, possibly. The Guam, I don't know how to say it, the Guamule, but it's from The Host. This was a good movie. It's like a Korean joint where like the sea creature comes up and starts killing people. I love creatures that rise from the sea. I'm an H.P. Lovecraft guy, and I know that they come from outer space or whatever, but they reside in the sea a lot of the times, and that's terrifying because what we don't know about the ocean is insane. Like it's a terrifying and scary place, and it is right by us. Like we are floating in the midst of it. It's terrifying. Ocean creatures, that's a sure way to get me spooked. Ooh, 53. We're coming with some giant monsters. King Ghidorah. Godzilla's arch nemesis, his greatest foe, the three headed dragon. This boy is a lot of fun, and he is bent on the destruction of the entire planet. So the stakes are always a little bit higher with these giant monsters because they're not just going to kill you; they're going to kill everything around you. And it's almost like a cosmic horror because you're so insignificant in the grand scheme of things. Like when you're fighting Jason or Freddy, that's like a one-on-one. Like you kind of matter. Like you could beat them. But you versus King Ghidorah, you don't even know you're there. You're a flea to him. So it makes you feel even less important. So it's like an extra level of horror. Number 52, the Quetzalcoatl from Q, the winged serpent. This is a terrible. No. Q's good. I was thinking of the flying talon or whatever, but Q's good. He's like a cool looking like bird snake thing, and it looks terrifying. And it's a, I mean, it's a pretty neat design for a creature. Uh, I haven't seen Q the Winged Serpent in a long, long time. I think I watched it back in like 2001. It was on a compilation disc of like a bunch of bad horror movies, and I watched it and I was like, this movie isn't bad. It's really not. It's worth your time if you ever come across it. People just don't really talk about it. It does get mentioned a lot and so bad it's good horror, but I actually legitimately think that it is pretty good. Number 51, the Shelob from Lord of the Rings: Return of the King. I believe that is the giant spider. I'm not a big Lord of the Rings guy, but I think that's a giant spider, and a giant spider sounds terrifying. I'm not afraid of spiders. Actually, I have a lot of spider bros out here in the dojo, but we respect each other. I won't fuck with the spider, so I'm definitely not fucking with the giant spider. Number 50, the humanoids from the deep. Yeah, like I said, these are some fish creatures. That's terrifying, especially fish creatures that want to mate with people. That's another a layer of terrifying because I don't want my cookies to be taken by a fish man. Humanoids from the deep. That's a good one. It's so bad it's good. I believe Mystery Science Theater did a episode on it, and it's worth checking out in either venue, Mystery Science Theater or regular. The next one we have is Christine, uh, haunted car. That's pretty cool. Christine, the movie, is an underrated John Carpenter classic. I think it's starting to get its due nowadays. Um, like a car that kills people. That's pretty cool. One that comes like it can come back from the dead, even if it's destroyed, and it starts to affect the person's personality and turning you into the personality of its owner. Lots of cool stuff in that movie. Very good time. Definitely check out Christine if you haven't. Number 48, Dren from Splice. This we used to have debates at work about this creature from Splice when she is like full grown because Adrian Brody smashes and we're like, would you smash? So I'm not gonna say what side of the debate I fell on, but Dren is terrifying, and that's actually a pretty good movie. Like I need to go back and watch it and see it again because it's been a while since I watched it. But I remember being kind of like off put, especially in the early phases before it starts to develop its human features, and then actually kind of at the end when it is human. Because something about like something like the uncanny valley when it's almost human and it almost feels like that, and then you can and there's just something not right about it. Yeah, that's definitely a good pick. Ooh, number 47, No Face from Spirited Away. Classic Miyazaki anime. All of his stuff is so good, all worth a watch, and the character designs are so creative, and the way that they're portrayed, where they're deeper than surface level. Like they look terrifying, but there's always a little something else going on behind the eyes. And No Face is definitely a example of that. Definitely check out Spirited Away. Anything Miyazaki. 46, Pumpkinhead from Pumpkinhead. I'm a huge Pumpkinhead fan. I liked all the terrible Pumpkinhead sequels. I love the original. Lance Henriksen is the goat. But Pumpkinhead itself is an awesome design. It looks very alien, like it would just like and unstoppable, very demonic. Just a cool design overall. Definitely recommend Pumpkinhead. 45, Toxie from the Toxic Avenger. I don't consider him to be a monster. He's the good guy, although he does dispense some very violent justice. He is Troma's flagship character. I believe he's getting a remake soon. They made a Toxic Crusaders show when I was a kid. They like to try to make the Toxic Avenger kid friendly. If you've ever seen the Toxic Avenger, you know that's a huge stretch. But definitely Toxic Avenger. I don't consider him a monster, but he is pretty monstrous looking. And yeah, he's a very cool creature. I'll say he's a creature. He's a very cool cinematic creature. Ooh, number 44, Smaug from The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug. Just giant dragon. Dragons are terrifying. There's a reason that every mythology on Earth has their own version of a dragon because they're scary. A giant lizard that sometimes breathes fire, sometimes is benevolent, sometimes will just kill you. You don't know. They're wise beyond wisdom. Like so, I'm a huge Dungeons and Dragons nerd, so I know the different types of dragons and stuff like that. And they're just a giant lizard. And since they're cold blooded, like it's almost like you can't reason with them. Almost cold blooded creatures are just they have a little extra layer of creepiness to them. 43, the Skeksis from the Dark Crystal. Now these guys are scary looking AF. They're very bumbling and dumb, but sinister also. Actually, everything about the Dark Crystal is kind of off-putting. Even the good guys are just ugh. Like I watched the original movie when I was a kid, and I used to have nightmares about all of it, all of it. The good guys, the bad guys, everyone. So just the Dark Crystal in general. That's a good creature. Jim Henson, very, very, very underrated creature creator. Number 42, Constance Nevercracker, the house from Monster House. A house that wants to eat you and kill you. Terrifying. It's a whole monster house. The only thing is like you can just avoid it. Like so, like some of these terrors are not as scary because you could just not go. But I mean, if I was a kid, I couldn't resist. I would have to go explore the monster house. So I would definitely be a victim of the monster house. So it's good. The inclusion on this list makes sense. 41, the aliens from Attack the Block. Now I liked the alien design in this movie, the glowy mouths and like the pitch black everything else. We can only kind of make out the shape. That was very cool. These are also very violent and vicious creatures, and they seem to lack intelligence and are like a primal force. Attack the Block, very good movie. If you can get past the very heavy British slang, like so, if you don't know what any of that means, you will be lost. But I would definitely check it out if you get the chance, especially if you like our boy from the Star Wars movies, not Poe, but John Boyega. He's in it. It's like his first role. He's really good in it. Ooh, number 40, the Sandworm from Dune. Yeah, this is a very terrifying creature, just a giant, huge sandworm. Like, if you were living on the planet of Arrakis, that would be a very constant fear, especially if you started to walk with rhythm, because you will attract the worm. Number 39, the Jotnar from Troll Hunter. I watched this movie on Netflix way back in the day, and the trolls in this movie range from being hilarious to devastatingly terrifying. They will all hurt you, and they will all and they might not even be trying. Like they're just all ancient creatures, and they don't know what they're doing in terms of like hurting you. So, Troll Hunter, very good movie. It was like a special effects showcase for the director. They got turned into an entire movie, and it's a fun time. I'd watch Troll Hunter for sure. Ooh, the Brundlefly from The Fly. This is a disgusting, perfectly realized creature. This is one of the ones from the 80s that actually holds up. You look at this and you're like, okay, that looks like it could actually be a creature. It's not hokey at all. Jeff Goldblum, absolute beast in this movie. Everything about it, I love. It used to fucking creep me out and disgust me, like when he's like vomiting his fly acid on people and melting dudes, or like when he's like arm wrestling and he breaks dudes' arm. Like I'm like yeah, like it's everything about it. Brundlefly, that's an excellent inclusion. I love that. A lot of these are gonna be from the 70s and 80s. That was like the golden age, but like we'll get some more modern stuff. All right, number 37, The Blob, the OG classic. But I'm also including the 1988 Blob in this because that one's even more terrifying because it seems to like just like because the Blob from the 50s, killed indiscriminately. But this one, like, it just seems like it like kills only the characters you like. In the '80s one, like, if you like the character, they're probably gonna die in a vicious manner, including little kids. So you get extra points for being terrifying if you're killing kids, because usually kids are safe. So if you kill kids, you're a little bit terrifying. 36, Darkness from Legend. This is the Tim Curry devil looking dude. A lot of people haven't seen Legend, but it's a good movie. Tom Cruise be rescuing like a unicorn and shit. It's pretty cool. But Tim Curry steals the show. This is the only thing about Legend anyone remembers. It's Tim Curry looking like an absolute badass Satan. 35, Imhotep from The Mummy. Now, Imhotep, not that scary, really. I mean, he has powers and stuff like that and can kill you. The part that really scared me when I was a kid was when he steals that dude's eyes. Like, he steals someone's eyes. That's terrifying. Like, to me, like, losing your eyes is one of the scariest things in the world. So when he steals that dude's eyes and he's got like and he finishes him off later, I was like, just kill me now. You already stole my eyes, bro. 34, Maleficent Dragon. So another dragon from Sleeping Beauty. Very scary. Dragons, just scary boys in general. Number 33, Audrey 2 from Little Shop of Horror. I love this movie. I'm not a huge super fan of musicals, but this one is one of the few that is done right. I really like it. The songs are catchy. And Audrey 2, Drinking the Blood, Feed Me Seymour, etc., etc. And I like the alternate ending where they takes over the world. That's cool shit. Definitely Little Shop of Horrors, classic. If you haven't seen it, what are you doing? Go watch it now. Number 32, this one really used to fuck with me when I was a kid. The Graboids from Tremors. I was 100% convinced one of those snakes that's in its mouth was going to come up through my toilet. 100%. Like, you could not convince me otherwise. I was like, when I sit down to poop, one of these is going to crawl up and bite me in the ass. 100%. All through my childhood. I watched this movie. It devastated me. Devastated. 31, the Lamia from Drag Me to Hell, the witch. Drag Me to Hell is awesome, awesome Sam Raimi joint. Definitely watch it. It's fun. It's like a horror comedy until it isn't. Watch it. It's so cool. Drag Me to Hell, underrated. 30, Rodan from Rodan, giant bird monster. Like I said, any kind of giant monster, it's a different type of terror where it's like unfeeling towards you. Later ones, obviously, individual people could interact with the giant monsters or whatever, but in the beginning, unfeeling, uncaring, just relentless. Rodan, that's a good one. 29, Clover from Cloverfield. I bought into the hype. I saw this movie in theaters the night it came out, and I loved it. It's fun. It's a cool looking design. The scarier part, though, is like the little leech things that hangs off it. If they bite you, you explode. That's scarier to me because it's more personal. Like I said, these giant ones, like, it's scary on a different kind of level. There's nothing you can do about it. But the personal element of being bitten by those little fleas that like will make you explode, fuck that. Yeah, Cloverfield, that's a good one. 28, the Babadook from the Babadook. He is like literally the representation of grief, and it's a creepy looking character design. I feel like the black and white element has been done a lot here lately, especially like with Art the Clown, which he's probably on this list, even though I'm not a super huge fan. But the Babadook's creepier looking to me. He's creepier than a clown, for sure. It's a good movie, and it's a very like sad movie. Like it'll bum you out. 27, Stay Puft, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, iconic, iconic. Ghostbusters, like that movie, classic '80s comedy. Like everything about that movie is a classic. Not really a horror movie, just a movie with horror elements, obviously. But Stay Puft is like the enduring symbol. Like he's in that scene, and like in all the future ones, like they got to bring him back. They just had to bring him back. So yeah, Stay Puft, definitely a good inclusion. 26, Winged Monkeys from The Wizard of Oz. Winged Monkeys scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. I ain't scared to admit that. They're terrifying. Winged Monkeys, dude. They fucked that Scarecrow up. They fucked him up. 25, Mothra, another classic Godzilla. Not really a monster though. Mothra is one of the good guys, defender of the earth, protector of humanity, but cool design nonetheless. Giant moth, Godzilla's wife somehow. I'd love to see those strange babies. But yeah, Mothra classic. I'm a huge fan of like the Japanese monster movies. So good, just fun times, just fun times. 24, Pazuzu, The Exorcist. They have the picture of Captain Howdy here. But Pazuzu, the demon, very scary. Any kind of exorcism movie is kind of like the elements can be scary because there's nothing you can do about it. Like it just oppresses you. You're just a regular person. It's scary. Exorcist, very scary movie. Ooh, number 23, the Brain Gremlin from Gremlins 2, The New Batch. This was a charming motherfucker right here. He was a good dude. I kind of like he's like one of those villains you kind of root for. Just a charming, suave character. The Mogwai in general, the Gremlins in general, are a fun villain group of villains. And Gremlins 2: The New Batch is the better movie. Like, how was it not more like how come people like look back more fondly on first Gremlins? I don't get it. I mean, I watch it every Christmas. I'm not gonna lie, I love the movie. But Gremlins 2, it upped the ante in every single way. It's just a superior movie. I will die on that hill. 22. Another werewolf mention. This one from American Werewolf in London. Like I said, classic werewolf. These ones actually turn into a more wolf-like creature, all fours, crawling around. Very painful looking transformation, as opposed to the howling werewolf, which is more like a wolf man, like halfway between a wolf and a man. This is more like a dude who just turns into a wolf, but like a giant, terrifying wolf. I love werewolves, the whole mythology. I love it all. So, just a big fan. Ooh, 21, The Crawlers from The Descent. The Descent, that's a good movie. Those boys are fucking scary. They're blind, and they will just kill and eat you. They do not care. Like it is a terrifying ordeal, and the claustrophobia of being underground, stuck in a hole with these things. Yeah, that's a big no for me, dog. Now we're in his top 20 and my just random 20. Like I said, these are not in any order. Number 20, Pennywise from It. Yes. I was so afraid of this movie when I was a child that I thought that having a copy of it in my VHS player would let Pennywise escape into the real world. Dumb, I know, but scared the shit out of me. He literally is designed to embody your greatest childhood fears and just feed on them and kill you and eat you in a painful way. He ripped off Georgie's arm, bro, as a child. Anyone who kills children, like I said, a little bit scarier. Just they just have a little edge to them. Number 19, the Nazgul from Lord of the Rings trilogy. These are just like a whole bunch of Grim Reapers. When you have the ring on, they look like some kings. When you don't, they look like some Grim Reapers. It would be scary to be hunted by them because they would just kill you. But like not nothing too terrifying. But the design of them is very cool, very iconic. Number 18, the Rancor from Return of the Jedi. Yes. The Rancor and, if they don't have them on here, the Sarlacc, two terrifying creatures from Star Wars. Actually, when I was a kid, true story, Chewie used to scare me because I thought he was a fucking werewolf, and he scared the fuck out of me. But yeah, that's a good pick. Very cool looking design, very slimy looking, very intimidating, and to fight him one on one would be not fun. Number 17, the Merman from Cabin in the Woods. Now, there's a ton of monsters in Cabin in the Woods. I don't know why he singled this one out, but this is like the homage to the Gillman, the creature from the Black Lagoon, the Gillman from Monster Squad. Actually, the whole Monster Squad movie is good. Check it out if you haven't seen it. But yeah, he's a scary looking dude. He looks like a piranha man. This ain't no Shape of Water. You ain't falling in love with this guy. He looks pretty ragged. Number 16, Bub from Day of the Dead, a smart zombie. Not only will he eat your brains, he will shoot your ass. Captain Rhodes, you get clapped because you killed his boy. So yeah, Bub, the first smart zombie. 15, The Bride of Frankenstein. Smash, smash. But yeah, Bride of Frankenstein, very iconic looking creature. The hair, all that, the Wayne Static hair, as it were. She's a very cool looking monster design. Uh, I'd say that she is right on par with Frankenstein, like in terms of the look and how iconic she is. Yeah, Bride of Frankenstein for sure. Number 14, The Beast from Beauty and the Beast. That's crazy. The Beast, he launched a thousand furry lives for people like you know anthropomorphic whatever. Very I don't want to go into that, but let's just say people aren't really scared of the Beast. Ooh, 13, The Predator from the Predator. Now he's a cool looking monster. Like, he'll kill you, but like he like will kill you like a man. Like he'll fuck you up, and that's pretty cool. Like he has like claws and teeth and all that stuff, but he'll just box you out and he'll just blast you. So it's like you feel like you have a chance. You got no chance. Schwarzenegger got like battered around by this guy. Think you're as big as Schwarzenegger? You ain't. You got no chance against a predator, and he's scary and so cool. And the lore behind him is so cool, and the technology, everything. Predator is maybe one of the coolest monsters on here. Not so much scary, but very cool. But he would be scary if he was hunting you, for sure, unless you're Danny Glover. And Danny Glover gives zero fucks. Number 12, King Kong. Classic giant monster. Tragic. Uh, Parallels to Beauty and the Beast. Very iconic. Obviously, the most iconic. King Kong, I'm going to say, is probably King Kong, Frankenstein, Dracula, probably the most iconic monster. Godzilla's got to be up there too. Like he's the next wave. Like I'm giving it to him. Those guys are the icons. That's the Mount Rushmore. Number 11. I'm happy to see this. The T-1000. Unrelenting, uncaring, terrifying. The original Terminator, the T-800, also scary in the first one, but not as scary as the T-1000. T-1000 can turn into other stuff. Shapeshifters are scary because like it's like scary and the deception. T-1000 very scary in an action movie for sure. 10, Godzilla. That's my boy. I'm glad he made the top 10. I wish him and King Kong would have both been in the top 10 because I put them on the same level of iconography. Godzilla has more powers though, so he's a very cool boy and he's got like powers, so that's always gonna be sweet. Number 9, the Pale Man. Pan's Labyrinth. He eats kids and he looks scary. He used to be fat, lost all the weight, and now he's got like the saggy skin. I can relate, bro. I can relate. The hands over the eyes. Scary. Me and my buddy at work, where I used to work, we used to do it all the time. We used to draw eyes on our hands, and do that all the time, just because it's such a cool, like looking creature. Guillermo del Toro has an amazing imagination. Number 8, Gillman. Like I said, he's like the merman, creature from the Black Lagoon. Very cool. He's one of my favorite visual looking monsters. And anything from the sea, automatically more terrifying. 7, Frankenstein. Of course, flat top Frankenstein, neck bolt Frankenstein, green skin Frankenstein, universal Frankenstein. Because like the Robert De Niro one from the '90s and all that. That's not Frankenstein. Everyone knows what Frankenstein looks like. He looks like Herman Munster, and you guys got to live with that. Number 6, Pinhead from Hellraiser. Cenobites in general, I know way too much about them, and they are scary because they only kill you because you kind of want them to, and you may not even realize you want them to, but they can read your heart's desires, and they know more about you than you do, and they kill you in very vicious and painful ways. Uh, yeah, so Hellraiser, any of those Cenobites, varies. You don't want to fuck. You don't want to run into them. You don't. You just don't. Number 5, Medusa from Clash of the Titans. Yes, very cool creature design. She looks at you, you die. But like the fact that she's also like a snake and has uncanny movements, that's a spooky, spooky, spooky. Medusa used to creep me out a lot. They did a really good job, especially for the time. Number 4, Dracula. Obviously, Dracula is going to be one of the boys. Vampires are scary. They can be. 30 Days of Night has made vampires very scary. Twilight obviously softened them up. So like take what you will from whatever mythology you want. But vampires, they're good boys. Like I always debate with my friend because I'm a werewolf guy and he's a vampire guy. But I do like vampires, and I like vampire movies, especially like real vicious ones, like the ones that have lost their humanity. Those are the scary ones. Ones that are still kind of human and can be reasoned with, not as scary. But like if you've lost your humanity and you are like ravenous and bloodthirsty, that's cool. Plus Blade. Blade's a vampire. That's my boy. All right, number three, the Alien Queen from Alien. Yeah, yeah, iconic. Aliens in general, like the Alien from Aliens. That's a sweet, just haunted house in space situation. Very cool, very iconic design. When I picture aliens in my head now, I don't think of the little gray men. I always think of xenomorphs, and they're very scary. Number two, The Thing from John Carpenter's The Thing. That's scary, especially when they show that the entire world will be like infected in 6 days, and like that's it. There's nothing you can do about it. Any kind of creature that's like a virus that can spread from person to person, and also the paranoia, very scary. Obviously, there's always going to be debate at the end if Childs or McCready was the thing. My personal opinion is neither one of them was. So yeah, the thing, very good movie. He has Nosferatu at number one, and I think it's just because there's that new movie coming out, and they're just trying to hype it. He's a very cool looking vampire, but he's a vampire nonetheless. So yeah, like I said, vampires in general. I'm a little upset about the omission of Chucky, Freddy Krueger, Jason, and Michael Myers. The entire Nightbreed. Like there's so many more monsters that are out there and worth your time to check out. But I went down the 66 that he mentioned. Look for monsters. Like there's cool monsters and newer monsters that have popped up. The Ritual has like a cool like deer monster. Any Wendigo movies. The Wendigo itself is a cool monster. There's just so many, too many to count. But yeah, that's what I got for now. I hope you guys have a happy Halloween and stay spooky. And I'll check you guys later. Peace.